Do you know that according to recent studies, nearly 90% of people will experience at least one major life crisis? Before they turn 50, that's 9 out of 10. Think about that. Tough times aren't an anomaly. There are certainty. They don't ask for permission. They don't knock politely before entering your life. They just arrive unannounced, flipping everything upside down. You felt it, we all have. And when you're in the middle of it, when the world feels like it's closing in, the question is always the same. How do I keep going? The ancient Stoics asked the same question centuries ago. They lived in chaotic times, surrounded by uncertainty, injustice and suffering, yet instead of drowning in despair, they chose to rise above it. They developed tools, mental frameworks to help navigate life's harshest storms. These tools weren't abstract theories meant for scholars. They were practical, grounded, and deeply human. They left us mantras, simple, yet profound, reminders that serve as guiding lights in life's darkest moments. What makes these mantras so important is their simplicity. They don't promise to make the pain disappear, but they give us a way to face it, to endure it, and to grow from it. Whether you're reeling from a breakup, navigating career uncertainty, or grappling with profound loss, Stoic wisdom offers clarity and strength. It cuts through the noise, bringing us back to what truly matters. In this video, we'll be exploring 3 transformative Stoic mantras. Memento mori, remember you will die, amor fati. Love your fate and the dichotomy of control. Focus only on what you can control. Each one carries centuries of wisdom, yet their relevance in today's unpredictable world is shocking. So let's take a closer look at these principles and uncover how they can guide us through life's inevitable storms. The Stoics didn't promise an easy life, but they offered us the tools to live it well, and perhaps even to thrive. Before we begin, please subscribe and tap the notification bell, so you never miss out on more amazing videos like this. Let's get started. Memento mori, remember you will die. Memento mori, at first glance, it might feel like a grim reminder, a phrase cloaked in shadows. Remember you will die, but the truth is that it's not about despair. It's about clarity, about perspective. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, put it best: you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Death isn't the enemy. Your main enemy is forgetting to live while you're still alive. We waste so much time on trivialities, consumed by fleeting frustrations and endless distractions. Memento mori snaps us out of that haze. It's a call to wake up, to recognize the gift of the present moment. Instead of seeing it as morbid, see it as liberating. It's not a countdown. It's a compass. It asks you to strip away what doesn't matter and focus on what does. If we all carry the awareness of life's fragility, imagine how much more deliberate, how much more alive we would be. Do you find yourself constantly stressed over work deadlines? We've all been there, hours lost to overthinking, chasing perfection, or worrying about things no one will remember a year from now. Memento mori reminds us that our time is finite. Ask yourself, do I want to spend these precious hours on anxieties that don't serve me, or would I rather focus on what truly matters? On creating connecting living? Regret has a way of creeping into our minds. Missed opportunities, unsaid words. Paths not taken, but instead of letting regret paralyze you, let memento mori reframe it. Every moment is a fresh chance. Don't dwell on what you've missed. Instead, ask, what can I do with the time I have left? Life is like a sand timer. Think of it for a moment. Every grain that falls represents a moment you've already lived. Irretrievable, unchangeable. But the grains on the top, that's your future. The catch is, you don't know how many grains are left. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to focus you. The Romans had their own way of staying grounded. When a victorious general returned from battle, crowds would cheer, parades would erupt, and glory would surround them. But behind the general stood a servant who whispered, memento mori, why? To remind them that no matter how high they climbed, life's impermanence would always remain. It wasn't to deflate their success, but to keep them humble, aware and present in modern terms. Think of those moments when you get caught up, comparing yourself to others on social media. The curated highlights, the endless pursuit of likes and validation. It's exhausting. Memento mori cuts through that noise. It pulls you back to the things that matter. Meaningful relationships, growth, and passions that ignite your spirit. We live in a world obsessed with speed and distraction. Social media demands our attention. Algorithms feed our insecurities. And society tells us that more money, more recognition, more success is the answer. But is it at the end of your life? Will you remember the hours you spent scrolling, the promotions you chased, or the relationships and experiences that truly shaped you? Memento mori asks you to reflect. If this were my last day, what would I want it to look like? Not in a dramatic bucket list kind of way, but in the small, meaningful moments. A conversation with someone you love, a project you're passionate about, the decision to finally let go of something that no longer serves you. Every day, pause and ask yourself, if this were my last day, how would I spend it? Not in fear of death, but with a commitment to life. Let this question guide your decisions. Are you holding on to grudges that drain you? Are you delaying something important because you think there's always more time? Are you living by someone else's definition of success? Memento mori isn't about fearing death. It's about using its inevitability as fuel to live a life that matters. A life of purpose, intention, and joy. You can start by writing down 3 things that matter most to you. Then each day take one action, big or small, that honors those priorities. Whether it's calling a friend, starting that project you've put off, or simply sitting in gratitude for what you have. Memento mori reminds you that life is happening now. This mantra isn't a burden. It's a gift, it whispers. Don't wait, don't waste. Don't sleepwalk through your days. The clock is ticking, yes. But that's exactly what makes each moment so profoundly valuable. Embrace it, live it. Let memento mori remind you that while death is inevitable, a meaningful life is always within reach. Amor fati, love your fate. Always remember that life doesn't come with a blueprint. It doesn't ask for your permission or follow your carefully laid plans. The job you thought was yours slips through your fingers. The relationship you poured yourself into ends without warning. A missed flight, a delayed promotion, a diagnosis you never saw coming. These moments can feel like betrayal, like life itself has turned against you. This is where amor fati steps in. Love your fate, not tolerate it. Not begrudgingly accepted. Love it, it's a call to embrace every twist and turn. Every hardship, every detour, as if you'd chosen it. Friedrich Nietzsche, one of Stoicism's most powerful modern interpreters, captured the essence of amor fati perfectly. My formula for greatness in a human being is amor fati. That one wants nothing to be different. Not forward, not backward. Not in all eternity. It's not about pretending hardships don't hurt. It's about seeing them as necessary steps in your journey, as raw material for your growth. Let's take, for example, that you're stuck in traffic, the kind that makes your jaw clench and your fingers drum on the steering wheel. The old you might grumble or let your frustration get the best of you. But with amor fati, you pause. You say, this moment is mine. Maybe it's a chance to listen to a podcast you've been meaning to start. Maybe it's an opportunity to practice patience. The traffic isn't against you. It's for you, missed opportunities. Failed projects and heartbreak often feel like life's cruelest jokes. But amor fati offers a different perspective. The rejection letter, it wasn't a door closing. It was a redirection to something better aligned with your purpose. The relationship that ended, it wasn't a mistake, it was a necessary chapter in your growth. Amor fati teaches you to trust that even the pain has meaning. Instead of asking why me, ask what is this teaching me? Thomas Edison's story is the epitome of amor fati. In 1914, his factory burned to the ground, destroying years of work and millions of dollars in equipment. Watching the inferno, Edison didn't collapse into despair. Instead, he told his son, "Go get your mother. She'll never see a fire like this again." He saw the fire not as an ending, but as a beginning with insurance money and his resilience. Edison rebuilt, innovating even further. Life's obstacles can be seen as a fire too. When a forest burns, it's not destruction for destruction's sake. It clears space for new growth. The same goes for us. The setbacks, failures, and heartbreaks we face aren't there to break us, but to transform us. They're fuel, feeding our resilience and forcing us to grow stronger. And today, with the internet and our social media, daily inconveniences can feel magnified. A rude email can derail your morning. An unexpected detour on your way to work might feel like a personal attack. Social media can make every misstep seem like the end of the world. But amor fati invites us to step back and reframe that rude email. An opportunity to practice grace under pressure. The detour, maybe it leads you past a beautiful scene you'd never have noticed otherwise. Even the algorithms that frustrate us can teach us something, like the value of disconnecting and focusing on what truly matters. The next time life doesn't go as planned, take a deep breath and say amor fati. Not sarcastically, sincerely. Then ask yourself two simple questions. 1. What can I learn from this? 2. How can this make me better? It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing that even the imperfect has value. The beauty of this principle is that you can always start small. When you're delayed, when plans fall through, when someone is rude, choose to see the moment differently. Not as an inconvenience, but as an invitation to grow. Over time, this mindset becomes a habit, and life's challenges become less daunting. Amor fati is freedom. It frees you from wishing for a life that isn't yours, and empowers you to love the life you have, with all its flaws, detours, and surprises. Because when you stop resisting and start embracing, you discover that every moment, even the hard ones, is exactly what you need to become the person you're meant to be. Dichotomy of control: focus only on what you can control. Life often feels like an endless tug of war. On one side, there's what you wish would happen. The dream job, the perfect relationship, the recognition you feel you deserve. On the other, there's reality, messy, unpredictable, and entirely indifferent to your plans. The constant struggle to control the uncontrollable leaves many of us exhausted and frustrated. The dichotomy of control, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, cuts through this chaos with a simple truth. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. Epictetus framed it perfectly. It is not events that disturb people. It is their judgments concerning them. In other words, peace comes from focusing only on what you can control. Your actions, your thoughts, and your attitude, and letting go of the rest. It's not about giving up or being passive. It's about choosing where to direct your energy. Worrying about what you can't control is like trying to stop the ocean's waves with your hands. But when you focus on what you can control, you find strength and freedom in the chaos. Think about things that stress you daily. Maybe it's social media, the endless parade of opinions, criticism and comparisons. Someone leaves a hateful comment or post, doesn't get the engagement you hoped for. You can't control how others react to your content, but you can control how much weight you give their words. Do you let a stranger's opinion ruin your day? Or do you step back, remind yourself of your worth, and move on? Take job hunting, for example. You can't control whether a hiring manager picks you, but you can control how well you prepare, how much effort you put into your application, and how you respond to rejection. The same goes for relationships. You can't force someone to love or respect you, but you can control how you treat them and how you handle disappointment. The dichotomy of control isn't just a philosophy. It's a practice. It's choosing to focus your energy on what you can influence and refusing to be dragged down by what you can't. Let's use the weather to explain even better. You can't stop the rain, no matter how much you wish it away, but you can carry an umbrella, wear a raincoat, or even decide to dance in the downpour. Life's challenges are like the weather. Inevitable, often inconvenient, but manageable when you adjust your perspective. One of the most powerful examples of the dichotomy of control comes from Admiral James Stockdale, who survived over 7 years as a prisoner of war during the Vietnam War in his darkest moment. Stockdale focused not on the cruelty of his captors, which he couldn't change, but on his own actions and mindset. He stayed true to his values even under unimaginable pressure. You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end, Stockdale said, with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality. His story is a testament to the power of focusing on what's within your control. When life feels unbearable, the dichotomy of control reminds you to center yourself on the one thing no one can take from you: your response. We live in an age of constant distraction. Social media, algorithms thrive on making us care about things we can't control. The opinions of strangers, the pursuit of validation through likes, and the endless comparison to others. Consumerism adds to the pressure, convincing us that happiness lies in things outside ourselves. But the dichotomy of control pulls us back to what matters. Instead of chasing likes or material success, focus on the effort you put into your work, the kindness you show to others, and the values you live by. Results are never guaranteed, but effort is always within your grasp. This mindset also applies to mental health. Anxiety often stems from trying to control the uncontrollable. The future, other people's perceptions, or past mistakes. The dichotomy of control reminds us to anchor ourselves in the present and let go of what's beyond our reach. I'd like you to try this simple exercise. Take out a piece of paper and write down everything that's been stressing you out. Be honest, list it all. From the small annoyances to the big worries. Now go through your list and ask, can I control this? If the answer is no, cross it out, let it go. Stop spending your energy on what you can't change. For the items that remain, the things you can control, circle them. That's where your focus should be. If it's a project at work, commit to giving it your best effort. If it's a relationship, focus on how you show up and communicate. The dichotomy of control isn't just about reducing stress. It's about reclaiming your power. By letting go of what you can't control, you create space for what truly matters. The actions, choices, and attitudes that define your life. Life will always have its storms. But when you embrace the dichotomy of control, you learn to weather them with grace. You stop wasting energy on the waves you can't stop and start steering your own ship. One steady choice at a time. Tough times are inevitable. That's one of life's guarantees. You will face days when the weight of the world feels unbearable, when nothing seems to go as planned, and when the pain of loss, failure, or uncertainty grips you tightly. But what's also guaranteed is your ability to choose how you face those moments. Memento mori reminds us that our time here is limited, but that's not meant to scare us. It's a wake-up call when you realize every moment matters. You start showing up differently. You hug your loved ones a little tighter. You stop procrastinating on the dreams that light you up. And you let go of grudges that weigh you down. Death isn't the end of the story. It's the reason to live fully. Amor Fati asks you to stop resisting life. Traffic jams, heartbreak, career detours, they aren't punishments. They're opportunities. What if you approached every challenge as if you'd chosen it? What if you believed that each setback was carving you into a stronger, wiser, more resilient version of yourself? Loving your fate doesn't mean loving every moment, but it means trusting that every moment has its place in your journey. And then there's the dichotomy of control. This is where true freedom lies. So much of our suffering comes from trying to control things. We simply can't other people's opinions. The past, the future. But when you focus on what's within your power, your actions, your choices, your attitude, you take back control of your life. You stop wasting energy on things you can't change and start building a life that reflects your values and aspirations. The Stoics weren't superhuman. They had fears, doubts, and struggles just like we do. But they left us a blueprint for rising above the noise, for finding clarity in the chaos. Their mantras aren't relics of the past. They're tools for today. Imagine living each day with these principles guiding you. When life tests you, and it will, you take a deep breath, you breathe. You remember this is temporary. This is for me, and I control how I respond. You can choose gratitude over resentment, action over helplessness, love over fear. The world may be unpredictable, but your inner world, that's entirely up to you. The next time you're staring down a tough moment, take a deep breath and remember, memento mori amore fati. The dichotomy of control, these aren't just words. They're your compass, your anchor. Your light in the storm. Life will always be messy. But you, with these tools, can navigate it with grace and courage. You are stronger than you think. You always have been, and with these mantras, you always will be. If this resonated with you, and you're ready to explore Stoicism even deeper, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. We're creating content to help you live with more clarity, resilience, and purpose, all rooted in timeless Stoic wisdom. Subscribe now and let's continue this journey together. Your best self is waiting.